It's been a while. I've been meaning to do this video for ages. So let's talk antinatalism. Pull up a seat, grab a drink, let's chat. What is up, people? Welcome back or to another video. For those of you who are new around here, a very warm welcome. I'm super grateful to have you come and join us. So there's many different ways to look at antinatalism, and cut a long story short, I used to always think it was just a bunch of angry people who were just like pissed off with the world and pissed off with those who are procreating. Now, there might be an element of truth in that. There are a lot of angry people on the planet, but they usually have reason to be. So if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit the thumbs up. That really helps boost this video, and it goes out and reaches all those in need of a child-free community. So just before we continue, I am going to include a description of what antinatalism actually is a family of philosophical views that are critical of production. They consider coming into existence as bad or deem procreation as immoral. Antinatalists thus argue that humans should abstain from having children. Personally, I'm not really gonna sit here and be critical of every single person who has kids. Yes, there's a lot of bad parents out there. There are a lot of bad child-free people as well. So I can see both sides of the coin. I think one of the biggest fears that people have surrounding the child-free and antinatalism is they assume that the world is gonna go extinct, the humans are gonna go extinct, and economies are gonna collapse. And it's all gonna happen very suddenly. Will it probably happen in the future? I don't know. Maybe it will. Are economies collapsing already? Yeah, they already are, which is one of the main reasons so many people don't actually want to bring kids into the world, is because, especially myself, I'm thinking, right, if the economy is the way it is now, what kind of economy is my future child going to be working around? With the rise of, technology and AI, I need to think carefully, like, is my child actually going to have a job, or is it going to be competing with robots? I think with the recent decline of births overall around the world, it definitely has made the fat cats at the top, if you get my drift. It's definitely made them freak out a little bit. And I think the only reason they're freaking out is not because the world's gonna go extinct or humans are gonna go extinct overnight. I think it's more a case of they're not gonna have any wage slaves in their system. Therefore, their companies are gonna go bust. I personally never understand, and I actually find a little bit funny, is when people are so fearful of the world going extinct. Like, they think that humans are gonna just collapse tomorrow and they're gonna wake up and it's gonna be like that scene in the movie 28 Days Later, where there's like a lone man just walking down the road in a hospital gown looking for everyone. That it might be a gentle decline, but I don't believe humanity is generally just gonna be wiped out like that. It's not an overnight thing. So there's really no need to panic, especially those parents who are very much into their legacies and their genetics, because, I do like those parents who have children because they generally want children and they generally love their children. But there are a lot of people who, have children from a very egotistical standpoint because they think their genetics are superior and so much better than everybody else's. I like campaigners and companies such as Stop Having Kids, and I've come across them many times. I've seen their Facebook page and of course their YouTube channel as well. And what I like about them is they simply challenge people's mindsets and thoughts surrounding procreation instead of just like shoving it in people's faces. So their title's very bold, but of course they actually challenge people from an educational standpoint of kind of like, think before you procreate. It's not a choice that you should just make willy-nilly. Like, this is something that you should actually think about carefully before you do it. And I'm actually going to read something that I found on their website. So, our goal as a small anti-natalist and pro-choice movement is to publicize the often overlooked and misinterpreted anti-natalist philosophy and child-free lifestyle through a multi-layer approach. These tactics include encouraging advocacy, so outreach, demonstrations, hanging up signs, supplying people with educational resources and materials, advertising, as well as offering messages to wear and use for inspiring conversation, critical thinking, curiosity, reflection, validation, and positive change. So it's coming from a standpoint of like, let's just have an educated chat about this, not just chucking condoms at people and contraception pills and being like, hey, go and get the snip and stuff like this. Although, I mean, those signs do attract a lot of attention, but for the right reason. A lot of anti-natalism comes from the standpoint as well of they don't want to bring another child onto the planet or another human to endure the suffering that is already going on the planet. And that is totally one of my many reasons as well to not procreate, is that there is already enough suffering on the planet and I don't want to add into that suffering. And I remember once a troll commented on one of my videos and was like, well, there's always been suffering around the world. It's not going to change anytime soon. So why don't you just have kids? What? That just sounds so fucking backwards. And while I am aware that life goes on, it doesn't need to go on in terms of suffering. So the suffering and the pain and the wars, these kind of things don't need to go on. But the truth is they're not going to stop anytime soon. So why should we add to that? And I totally agree and see that standpoint. I always think to myself, why is there nothing being done about the life already on this planet? If we can't look after the life already that is here on this planet, why are we then adding to it? Why are we adding more people to a planet where actually people don't really care for one another? Not the way we should anyway. I know that sounds really grim, but hear me out. There is a lot of war. There is a lot of suffering. It's not going away anytime soon. It sometimes seems to just be getting worse. And yet people are always like, yeah, but that's always there. That's always been there. Okay, it doesn't need to be there. Take a look around you at all the homelessness. If you're from a big city or a small city, even a town, you'll see there's so many people who are homeless on the streets. There are foster cares that are full of neglected children or children who have been put up for adoption by parents who can't raise them or won't raise them. And yet, in the same breath, people are saying, oh, why aren't you having kids? We're gonna go extinct. Have a little look around you at how many people there are who are actually neglected. That's children or adults around the world who are already neglected. So those people who are all about procreation and saving humanity, what are you doing to save the planet right now? Like, are you helping the homeless? Are you helping in animal shelters or, or adoption centers or fostering? Are you helping with foster care? Are you donating to these charities? Like, what is it that you're doing already on this planet already to help out? Because actually a lot of people think that when they have a child, they're helping. They're kind of like, oh, I've done my bit. I'm contributing to society. I don't really think so. There's loads of ways you can contribute to society, which doesn't involve creating another life. And if you can't help the planet already, you're not really helping it just by putting another human onto it. Sorry, not sorry. I think so many people out there, they procreate from a place of fear. I think we've addressed this before, but I'm not speaking in terms of fear of them being like cancelled or, rejected by their own family or left out. So many people procreate from a place of like, oh, I'm scared the human race is going extinct, so let me just add another human onto the planet. And they don't realize that they are once again acting from a place of fear. When is it that we are going to reach a level in humanity where we stop acting out of fear and start acting from a place of love or a place of help or a place of want or something along these lines, instead of it always being fear-based? So I found this on the Stop Having Kids website as well. Part of our goal is to help already existing humans, other animals and places. There are countless ways to do this. We encourage those who participate in Stop Having Kids activism to help keep up with our message that we should voluntarily look out for already existing life and lead by example. There you go. May I add that they actually do have parents within their campaigning as well. I have read about that. Some people have 2-3 kids each, but they've joined as their current selves. And that just proves that it's not about, we're child free, you're not. It's about, are you helping the life already on this planet? Like, what are you doing? Are you helping the homeless? What is it that you're actually contributing to? Because a lot of people just go, oh, there's my kid. That's my contribution. Everybody assumes their child is going to be the one to like save the planet or cure cancer or, you know, set up life on Mars or set up life on Pluto. I don't fucking know. Like, they all have these elaborate ideas of their kid being like the best. And look, I get it. You all want your best for your child, and everybody thinks that their child's the smartest, the best looking, the best dressed, you know, the best on sports day. And I get it, you're proud parents, but listen, there's no guarantee that your child is going to do any of those things. And I know that you have great high hopes for your child, but there's still no guarantee that they're going to go on to cure cancer. How many times have I heard this? Oh, your kid might be the one who cured cancer. Yeah, he might be the next Ted Bundy as well, but that doesn't mean I'm going to pop kids out and take that fucking gamble. I actually remember having this conversation on Facebook once where I posted about, I wrote something really silly, like, oh, why do men find astrology really stupid when they do fantasy football? Because fantasy football, in my opinion, is just like, what the fuck is that? It's like a fake game, but you don't believe in astrology. And this woman on my Facebook, I cannot actually believe it, she was like, not my boys, I raised them right. I was like, with all due respect, every single parent thinks that they're the ones raising their kids right. Bitch, take a seat. Did you know I actually had 60 legitimate reasons as to why I'm child-free by choice? But one thing I will never allow on my conscience is to bring a child into the planet to endure any kind of suffering or pain. Because when I go to bed at night, I sleep peacefully knowing that my non-existent child will not have to deal with two main things, is that they're not going to deal with racism and they're not going to be on the receiving end of sexism. I could not bear the thought of being responsible for a person, for another human being who I've brought onto the planet, for them to just endure that. Oh, I know for sure that they're not going to be white, so, well, they're not going to be fully white, they're going to be half white, so they're not going to have the same opportunities of their white counterparts. I know that for a fact. We've got so many people making bold statements about how their kids are going to go on and save the planet and make a difference and put their stamp on the world. And I mean, from what I know, we're currently at like 8 billion. Am I right? We're currently at 8 billion. And I don't know, things aren't really improving. So what happened to all these people who were going to go on to save the world, cure cancer, stop wars? Like, where are they? Come on, come out of the woodworks. Or is it a case that there are certain structures and systems in place that oppress certain people? I'm going to leave that there with you guys. And of course, you know I love hearing from you lot. Let me know down in the comments below what your stance is on antinatalism. Are you an antinatalist yourself? What are your thoughts and opinions? If you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button, give this video a massive thumbs up, and I'm gonna catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.